What's happening, you hip cool cats? My name is Kit, and welcome to Chicago Reacts. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that ring bell notification. That way, you're made aware when we upload new content onto our YouTube channel. But, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the video we are going to be reacting to today called Humvees, APCs, Campfire Stories by mikeburnfire. Looks like a lot of fun. All right, so obviously we have reacted to mikeburnfire's content before, so what I'm going to ask all of you, our viewing audience, be sure to support the original content creators too, because they put a lot of work and effort into making this great content that we react to. That's what all the hip cool cats do. So there you go. But without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up this video and enjoy Humvees / APCs, Campfire Stories. I'm wondering if there's going to be any kind of talk about just how uncomfortable those Humvees can be. Yes, I have my own experiences being in those Humvees. But let's go ahead and get started with the video.
I used to have, you know flip clocks?
Ooh.
The inside of the clock is a bunch of little cards. It's like a Rolodex. And when it ticks over to the next number, it goes click and it flips down.
So it's a bunch of different cards that flip over.
Yeah, basically.
Automatically based on the time.
I had one of those. It's this ancient alarm clock. It used a little tiny incandescent bulb to illuminate the inside of the alarm clock.
It seems very niche, very little
Huh.
campy thing.
Well, it was from like the 80s. That's not why I had it, but it was from the 80s.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was why you had it.
I'm pretty sure it may have been like my mom's alarm clock when she was in college, and I was just like, this is what I'm using.
Okay.
That would go off, and there was one morning that it went off. I can sleep through almost anything.
Yes, you can.
There was one morning where it went off, and I like grabbed it and just threw it across the room.
Oh no!
Put it into a million cards.
No, it continued working because that thing was damn near indestructible. There was another
Very
morning
good.
where I woke up. I was late for whatever it was. I couldn't figure out why my alarm hadn't gone off. I also couldn't figure out where my alarm clock was. Had no idea where my alarm clock had gone. Went into the closet to get a shirt. Opened the closet door, and at the bottom of the closet was
A mess of screws and
a
parts.
big bundle of blanket. I had taken the alarm clock, unplugged it from the wall, wrapped it in a blanket, and thrown it into the closet while I was asleep.
You were so tired you don't even remember.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you?
Let's see. Okay, audience. Was there ever a time where you were so tired that you did something and you didn't remember that you did it? Type in the comment section below. But also, let's see. When I was in the Marine Corps, obviously I had my alarm clock, but I was on the top bunk. And my alarm, I had it in a spot where I had to get out of bed just to get up. So I had it in a perfect spot where I had to get up, climb down, and then turn it off. So yeah, that's what I remember.
You about me sleeping through a mortar attack?
You were mortared quite a few times. I don't remember you sleeping through one.
We got mortared multiple times, and one of the things that our unit started doing was when we started getting mortared at nighttime, because we were in a barracks, a long building, rooms on one side, rooms on the other side, one big hallway that goes all the way down there, and then it stairs upwards to a second floor, which is more of the same. So when we started getting mortared, they got everybody to come out of their rooms into the hallway so they could get accountability of who all was there, which I thought was a really fucking stupid idea.
Well, you mean because we're all now in one long corridor?
Now we're all in one long corridor, and if a mortar comes straight through the roof, it's going through the roof, down, and it's going to detonate in the hallway and just send shrapnel ricocheting down this hallway made of cinder blocks.
Well,
That's a bad idea.
how else would you have gotten accountability?
Go open the door to their room and check to see if they're there.
That's right.
Maybe everyone stands in the doorway and reports that everyone is there.
I don't know. There's definitely a better way to do it, other than cluster up, boys. They can't hit all of us at once.
It's a single mortar, yep.
Anyway, I got real tired of doing that. One, because I would just straight up sleep through mortar attacks.
Cool.
Two, I was like, this is stupid. We're all gonna die.
If I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna die tired.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, what if we're getting mortared and I'm asleep? Why are you waking me up so that I can die awake?
What do you want me to do about it? Yeah, I'll go shoot down the mortar.
Yeah, let me die in my sleep, jackass. Anyway, Do you remember like the early invasion of Iraq when?
That wasn't there.
Do you remember the whole big deal with up-armored Humvees?
It sounds very familiar to me.
When we first invaded
Okay, this sounds familiar to me too. I remember something close to this, maybe. Maybe my 2 brain cells are still working.
Iraq, we went into Iraq with the most inadequate shit.
That's right.
I do seem to remember there's something about body armor.
And there was stories about people mailing back home asking, hey, can you help us get this armor for our vehicles or body armor? That was a thing that actually happened.
Number 2.
The body armor was all woodland camo. Most of the uniforms were woodland camo initially. So we're in the middle of a desert wearing woodland camo with like
Green.
M81 woodland camo vests. Which, I mean, I love woodland camo. Don't get me wrong. M81 woodland is amazing. It's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite camo patterns of all time. But it's not suitable for a fucking desert.
Right.
The other thing was, we went in there with Humvees that literally had like the nylon door. It was just a metal frame
Oh, yeah.
with a nylon door and a plastic window that folded down.
Oh, no.
Fiberglass doors.
Ah, yes.
So there was a big deal about like, these soldiers are in Iraq with doors that this Humvee literally has 0 armor on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you threw a baseball hard enough, you probably could get it to go through the. Oh my God, what is his name? What is the fucking baseball player's name that
Babe Ruth.
No, that obliterated a bird with his pitching.
I'm sure that's not what he wants to be known for.
He pitched real fast. Anyway, if that dude pitched a baseball at the side of one of these Humvee doors, I'm sure he could get the baseball, just go book and punch a hole clean through the door.
Just throw the baseball through the door, huh?
The dude had like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's like he could do it anyway. So they started just making doors out of sheet metal, which sucks. It's like that's not going to stop an EFP. But
No.
better than nothing, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. EFP is an explosively formed projectile.
So we were slapping metal on Humvees, just any kind of metal, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Sheets of metal.
During the early global war on terror in Operation
Just Iraqi Freedom,
they were
yeah.
slapping whatever they could find on the side of Humvees. Just anything. Like, legitimately, soldiers were piling sandbags in the bottom of the Humvee to absorb something.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll absorb some shrapnel.
Wow.
Because these early Humvees, during the early global war on terror, you could straight up take out a Humvee with a single hand grenade.
Wow, that's pretty pathetic.
It's pretty.
That's goddamn terrifying. Now, the Humvees I was in, no, they didn't have anything like that. They were fully armored. 5-ton nightmares.
Pretty terrible.
Do you think they were designed that way because they weren't expecting to use them in that kind of combat? You think they
No,
were
because
maybe-
all the Humvees that the military was using, we had been using since like the 1980s.
Oh.
It's not a frontline combat vehicle. It's not an armored personnel carrier. You're just using this thing, this Jeep, as like basically just a utility truck.
I see.
You're just transporting stuff from A to B. And A to B usually does not include a front line anywhere. Also, by not putting a bunch of armor on it, it's slightly faster, so hopefully if you do encounter any enemies, you can kind of just go, ah, and drive away really quickly. Also, you probably should have a dude on the back with a 50, and then he can, like, shoot at you, so whatever. That doesn't really work when you're in a urban environment and you're fighting asymmetric warfare, i.e. a bunch of insurgents who are planting fuck-off landmines on the side of the road.
Yeah, it seems like the Humvees were designed for conventional warfare, not to combat insurgencies or partisan participants.
Yeah, exactly. They were designed for conventional warfare, and they weren't ever supposed to be frontline vehicles.
My initial thought was, how did we not learn anything from Operation Desert Storm?
No. The military never learns anything, okay? There's that old fashion of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And especially in the Marine Corps, we get a lot of hand-me-downs. So there you go. But what was unique, I guess I'm just going to speak for myself for my time in the service, we got our body armor brand new, and our weapons were brand new, fresh out the box. So that's something. I still get people who served in other Marine units, you know, they're still like shocked, like, wait, well, what? You actually got brand new rifles? Yeah, we did. Seems unbelievable, but yeah, we did. Brand new everything.
In the 90s, but at the same time, that was more of a conventional war too, wasn't it?
That was more of a conventional war against a very underpowered enemy. You didn't have Humvees doing frontline combat. Maybe you had some Humvees doing scout duty. Anyway, one of the things that they did when they were up-armoring vehicles is they ordered these huge, like, these massive blankets made of Kevlar. It's just like 100 layers of Kevlar. It's a lot. These blankets are like maybe an inch thick.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's a lot of Kevlar. And they would take those and they would use like tin snips to cut them up and fit them and put them in the bottom of a Humvee so that, again, it could absorb some shrapnel.
Right. The Humvee might still be wrecked, but hopefully the soldiers inside
Yeah,
are still alive.
Hopefully you don't get like a chunk of shrapnel the size of your fist coming through the bottom of the Humvee and going up your asshole. Copper enema is not exactly the most fun thing.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah.
No.
There were a bunch of these extra Kevlar blankets that were left over sitting in the motor pool, just stacks of them. And I was sick of constantly being woken up in the middle of the night because there was a period for about a good 2 months that we would get mortared anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, every single day. And then it would go like 2 days where we wouldn't get mortared, and chain of command would be like, okay, if we don't get mortared today, this is the 3rd day. If we don't get mortared today, you don't have to wear your flak vest and Kevlar every time you go outside.
Okay, seems weird.
Well, because we had to wear it every time we went outside because we could get mortared at any point.
You probably still will after 3 days of not being mortared, though.
Yeah, of course.
Things that we got really good at was triangulating exactly where the mortar came from within seconds of it being fired. We had like really good firefinder systems that could calculate it within seconds of being fired. And I'm just now remembering another side tangent. We had these firefinder systems that are these big panels. They're like big radar panels that they put on top of buildings. Somebody got a little remote-controlled helicopter, and they thought it would be funny to fly one of those around. So they were flying it around in front of the firefinder system, and the firefinder system thought it was an incoming mortar, so it just starts going, bam, 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 incoming, 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 bam, bam, bam. It's so like everyone's running, and this dude with the helicopter's like, oh, fuck, and just drops it and runs away. Anyway.
Yeah, and you got pinned for that?
I don't know if they actually figured out who did it, but they were basically just like, no more flying helicopters outside here. It's just like...
Makes sense.
Anyway, so we got real good at pinpointing where incoming fire was coming from.
So you would attack the location where the fire came from, and you would assume...
Yes, well, we would either send a QRF, which is a quick reaction force. We would either send a QRF out to where the mortar site was if it was close enough to try...
I remember being part of a QRF too, so there you go. We had a rotation when we were doing our first tour in the green zone. Yeah, so there was obviously guard, there was react, there was QRF. I'm trying to remember something else. And there was a point where we would have stand down too. At least that's how I'm remembering it. Unless I'm getting senile. Hey, let's face it. The older you get, the more brain cells you lose.
Try to stop them, or we would just do counter battery fire and fire mortars back at them. The insurgents very quickly figured out that's what we were doing. One of the things they did is they would take mortars. They would take a mortar. So you know how a mortar works?
You basically launch it from a tube.
Yeah, you basically have a tube on the ground.
Yep.
You hold the mortar over the top of it. You let go of it. It slides down the tube, hits the firing pin, and launches the mortar out. What they would do is they would set up 10 mortar systems in like one location. And the day before, they would take each mortar and put it in a bucket of water and then freeze it.
Oh, I was actually gonna guess that, but then I thought, no, it's a stupid thing to guess. There's no ice out there. They have no access to ice.
So they got refrigerators. So what they would do is they would set up like 10 mortar tubes, get them relatively zeroed, and then bail. And then throughout the day, as the ice begins to melt, the mortars start sliding down the tubes and going off. If the U.S. does counter battery fire, there's nothing there to hit. They hit a bunch of empty mortar tubes.
I guess.
Huh.
Just kind of counter battery fire is a waste of resources.
So because we realized they were doing that, we would figure out where the mortars were coming from. We would look down there with a drone, abandon mortar tubes. We just wouldn't do counter battery fire. We just kind of stopped responding to it. Almost like just ignore it.
Okay.
Even though they're dropping mortars on us, just ignore it. Pretend it's not happening.
Okay.
After a good 3-4 weeks of that, they were like, they're not doing anything anymore. That means we can launch as many mortars as we want with impunity. So one day, they go out there, and they started mortaring us for probably about a good 20 minutes.
Jeez.
Just constant boof, boof, boof. These things are just going off constantly.
There is value in varying up your tactics.
Yep. The only problem is, because we would look with a drone to see what was going on, we could see that there were like 20 guys out there just launching mortars at us. So they flew over with Apaches and turned the entire area into mulch.
Oh, okay.
And then we didn't get any mortared anymore.
So that leads into you not being mortared for 2 days.
Oh, well, that doesn't lead into that. Basically, they would vary up their tactics. They would, like, wait a couple days.
Well, the entire reason
Not
you
mortared.
told the story is because you started off telling another story about how you...
Yeah, I got that real ADHD.
I know, but now going back to that story where you didn't have to wear armor
So
on the
they're
third
like,
day.
well, if we don't get mortared by midnight tonight, then we don't have to wear flak vests and Kevlar anytime you go outside anymore.
Which seems poorly thought out, but anyway.
It does seem poorly thought out, and also I didn't really...
You didn't like
I was
to wear
a stu-
flak and Kevlar.
I didn't want to wear my flak vest and Kevlar anywhere, and I also kind of just wanted to die. So I was like, whatever. If a mortar lands right next to me, I'm already fucking dead anyway. Why am I wearing this crap? Just what? I don't care. I mean, yeah, if a mortar landed like 50 meters away from me, I could still get hit with a chunk of shrapnel and die. The flak vest would have stopped anyway. So so we're just like sitting there like watching the clock, waiting for midnight to roll around. 11:51, mortars start dropping in, just like, God, I don't want to wear this thing anymore. Stupid flak vest keeping me alive.
I'm so hot.
So uncomfortable. I literally would go days without eating because it was too hot to go out to the dining facility. I would just be
God, oh man. That sun in Iraq would get really, really, really hot. I mean, that was just... You never forget anything like that. First tour, I think we were there during the summer. And I think remember one time it got up to maybe 120. 120 degrees. I think I remember that. But the worst was when we were leaving, or when we flew in and flew out of Kuwait. For some reason, the heat there was excruciating. It was really difficult. God, that was the most uncomfortable. Like, because the reason why I'm saying that is because when we were in, I guess in one of those not huts, a barracks. There you go, proper term. I remember one time when we were leaving, right? So the whole barracks area, AC, cooled up, nice. As soon as you open up that freaking door, it was like wham, like bright light hitting you, excruciating heat. It was like night and day, even though it was obviously like, it was air cooled inside the barracks. But as soon as you open up that door, you were just hit with the sun. It was just, that heat is unforgiving.
be sitting there and be like, it's time to go get food. I'm just gonna eat some Pop-Tarts and drink some water. It's fine.
Oh, Jesus.
It's too hot to go to the dining facility. I'm not putting all that crap back on.
Oh,
Anyway.
Yeah. If you have to put all your gear on to go eat, I guess, like...
Oh, it was miserable.
You have to weigh
Anyway,
that, yeah.
anyway, we're getting word every day, and I'm tired of having to get out of bed and go sit in the hallway. And we got these Kevlar blankets sitting at the motor pool.
They're very comfortable to lay on, I assume.
Not really.
No.
They're quite thick. It'd be like laying on a big leather pad.
Which, I mean, I did that in gym class. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. It would be better than sleeping straight on the ground, but they don't have a whole lot of give to them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And I'm looking at these blankets, and the old wheels start a-turning.
Oh, boy.
So I grab like 2 of these Kevlar blankets and just drag them all the way back to my barracks room.
Okay.
I take one of the blankets, and I make a handle for it out of duct tape.
Ooh.
Like
Okay.
a big pull handle.
Okay.
And then the other blanket, I shove it in between the mattress and the bed frame.
Okay.
So we start getting mortared that night. I grab the handle and I pull the Kevlar blanket up over myself, and thus cocooning me inside a giant Kevlar pod.
That seems terrifying.
It was quite comfy, actually.
I know for you, Mr. I love being compressed in an MRI machine. It might not seem terrifying to you, but the prospect of it not opening back up is kind of horrific.
Oh, no, because literally I could just push the Kevlar blanket off.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless the building got mortared and then rubble fell on you.
Yeah, but I'm dead. If the building got mortared and it collapsed on me, I'm dead anyway, so what do I care?
I'd rather be mortared than buried and trapped in my Kevlar cocoon.
That wasn't really a concern for me, because it basically would just be like if you got in a really thick sleeping bag.
Okay.
It pretty much is the same. Just imagine it's a sleeping bag, but it's a bulletproof sleeping bag.
Okay.
Yeah, or an EOD suit without legs or sleeves. You're just in a little Kevlar burrito. So, oh yeah, I also forgot that I put my helmet on.
Oh, okay.
Put on my helmet and then pulled all this other stuff over me, and just went right back to sleep. So they're coming down the hallway. Everyone, get in the hallway! Get in the hallway! They're like pounding on the door. doors. Platoon sergeant's like, "Where's Hazard? Where's Hazard at?" And my squad leader goes like running down there, like pushes open my door and shines a flashlight in there and just sees this olive green Kevlar burrito with a helmet poking out of the top of it. And he goes, "Oh, Hazard's fine."
The things you get used to.
He's like, "Oh, he's fine."
Oh, Kevlar cocoon, whatever.
He's safer than all of us. What the fuck?
And then 2 hours later, he emerged as a beautiful Kevlar butterfly.
With Kevlar wings. Pin me to your corkboard now, Mr. Scientist. I actually slept through several mortar attacks because the only reason that I woke up was because someone came and like kicked my door open and was like, "Get in the hallway, we're getting mortared." And I'm just like, again? Can we not?
So first tour when we got mortared, they all landed in the river. So I can remember maybe 2 or 3 separate occasions. This was like the first tour. Yeah, we were in the green zone, so we were in Baghdad. And I think on 2 or 3 separate occasions, we got mortared, but they didn't land anywhere. They just landed right in the river. And that's it. That's all that happened. Yeah. I guess the people there didn't know what they were doing.
God, I hate war so much.
War sucks. When they said war is hell, I didn't know they meant I wouldn't be able to sleep. That's one of the reasons that I sleep so much. Well, Gulf War syndrome is the other one, but being exposed to burn pits has permanently ruined my brain.
We have many different reasons why you like to sleep.
I love sleep. Sleep is amazing. But yeah, I slept with mortar attacks straight up. So I got so used to being mortared that I would like when I hear the incoming siren, I'm just like, all right, fuck, whatever. I start like slowly walking to the bunker because the bunker's like 20 feet away. I can get there in time. It's gonna be fine.
It'll protect me.
Whatever, it'll protect me. And it's just like they don't hit any. Literally, the joke is like they can't hit anything anyway. They keep blowing up the soccer field, and there's never anybody out there. So who cares? What's gonna happen? Are they gonna get like 1 foot closer to me than yesterday? So like slowly walk into the bunker, stop to light up a cigarette. As I'm trying to light the cigarette, one lands like within 100 meters of me, and I'm just instantly like, run into the bunker.
With the fear of God in you.
Yeah. It's just like that happens to so many people too. It's just you get so complacent about just like whatever. Nobody cares about mortars until a mortar lands within 100 meters of you, and you just like scream like a little girl and dive to the nearest bunker. Yeah.
War is mundane until it's not.
It really is. It's real goofy.
I don't think I ever saw the unarmored Humvees. By the time I had joined a few years later, everything was armored.
Same thing for me. When I was enlisted in, this was like 2004. We were shipped out in 2005. Everything was already armored up. And then for our second tour, 2006, 2007, yeah, our vehicles were all armored up at that time. So yeah, that's what I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. At that point, they had just armored the hell out of everything.
Everything.
Slamming your fingers in a car door ain't fun, but slamming your fingers in an armored Humvee?
Yeah, I think that happened to one of the people in our unit.
I actually met a person where that happened to them. They lost their fingers. It's not cool. Those doors are no fucking joke. All right, so I'm very glad I have all my digits. All of them here. All of them here. But yeah, I did meet a person where they lost their fingers because they were being stupid, you know. It's not cash money. Yeah, the closest thing I would compare that to is somebody playing stupid with one of those bullet train doors in Japan. In Chicago, on our CTA trains, for example, is when the doors are closing, if you put your hand in the doors will open automatically. In Japan, they don't play that fucking game. Those doors will close, so they don't stop for anybody.
They legitimately lost a chunk of their finger.
Yeah, it does some serious damage.
It just went boop and just popped it off.
No, that's not a good image.
Correctly, one of the problems is a lot of the Humvees had like a magnesium armor, which magnesium armor is really lightweight. It can handle a good amount. The problem is if it catches fire, that shit burns so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And you cannot put it out. when we were there, they had these new fire suppression systems they'd put in the Humvee. It had like sensors on the inside of the Humvee.
Had a sprinkler on the inside.
Kinda, yeah. There's like a dry chemical fire extinguisher. So there's multiple types of fire extinguishers you can get. One of the fire extinguishers they used to use in military vehicles was a Halo fire extinguisher, which is real fucking bad because Halo is a oxygen remover.
Oh, so
Oh.
suffocate the soldiers, they don't burn.
Yeah, basically it's you have to try to get everybody out of the vehicle first and then deploy the Halo fire extinguisher. The only problem with that is some of these fire extinguishers, the handle for it was on the outside, and if you knew where it was, you could just run up to a military vehicle and pull the Halo thing and then suffocate everyone inside the vehicle. So
What the fuck?
out on a convoy at one point, and we were waiting to go somewhere, so we were just stopped. We were all like lined up, getting ready to roll out, and one of the vehicles is just sitting there, and then I just see poof, this like white mushroom cloud goes shooting out the turret, and all the doors open, and everyone just they come out just completely covered in white powder.
How did that go off?
One of them was sitting in there smoking, and he took a drag off the cigarette, and then he held the cigarette too close to the fire suppression system, and it saw the bright red glow of the cigarette, and went, "Oh fuck, the whole vehicle's on fire!" And just the entire thing. So they're just all standing there, like it looked like someone threw a bag of flour in their face. It was like, "What happened?"
Goodness.
It was so funny because obviously they needed help. They needed someone to like pour water on them or
Yeah.
something.
But you're all too busy laughing.
Everyone is standing there pointing and laughing at them. The funniest shit. We got an armored personnel carrier into our motor pool at one point because apparently there weren't any tracked vehicle repairmen nearby.
And you were working on it because it's a small gun?
Yeah.
No, I was working on it because I didn't have anything else to do. And it was a little tank, and I thought it would be fun.
Okay.
I know it's not actually a tank. Oh my god, a 113 isn't a tank. Whatever. It has tracks. I was like, oh my god, it's a tank.
An APC is a tank, as far as I care.
It isn't really, but whatever. Anyway, we got this 113 in, and it needed just some various things done to it. It needed like the transmission serviced, and it needed like the handle repaired on the door on the back of it. Some other stuff fixed. Because basically what they were doing is they were using it as a gate guard vehicle.
Okay.
There's the gate that you would normally drive through.
Right.
And
Right.
what they would do is they would park the little armored personnel carrier sideways in front of the gate.
In case anyone tried to ram through the
Yeah,
gate.
basically in case someone tried to ram through the gate, because now you have to get through an entire armored vehicle. So yeah, they like
Okay.
had some various things fixed on it. So I like found the manual for it and started helping to try to replace stuff. And I got to drive it around a bunch, which you know how normally on like an automatic transmission, when you grab the little handle, it says like PRND1. This one it was like PRP D2 Q.
All right. So, to my fellow military veterans, have you ever had a chance to be in an armored personnel carrier? Type your experiences in the comments section below. I've never been in an APC. Humvees, of course, obviously. But no APCs.
Japanese sign for fire?
The second P is probably R, but like the leg is shaved off or
Well,
something.
no, it wasn't shaved off, but I do specifically remember that there was one that said P that was not park. And the reason I know it wasn't park is because I got in the tank to move it. There was nothing else in the motor pool. We had specifically made sure that all the other vehicles were away from this one.
Okay.
Weird, huh?
Because none of us actually knew how to drive the armored personnel.
So, hey, here's the APC. None of you have been trained to drive this vehicle. So, we're going to make sure it's over here. Because in case one of you fucks up, you won't damage the other vehicles.
Carrier.
I see.
So I get in the little armed personnel carrier. I figure out how to start it, which is pretty simple, honestly. There's just a big knob that says start, and you turn it.
There you go.
So I get in there. What's P do? Put it in P, press the gas pedal, and it goes, wow, and does a 180.
It turns around?
It just starts spinning in place. Turns out P stands for pivot.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, P is pivot, not park.
I'm glad that's not confusing at all.
No, not at all confusing. Anyway, yeah, I figured out how to drive it. It was really cool. It was, man, I had so much fun driving that little armored personnel carrier around.
Once you figured out how it worked.
Yeah.
P for pivot, R
for pivot,
run
Run people over.
D for don't move. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what tankers call infantry? infantry.
Crunchies.
Yeah,
You've
crunchies.
told me.
Okay, yeah. I had. Man, that thing was so much fun to drive around.
You didn't tell me you drove a tank and an APC.
Well, it is an APC.
You said you also drove a tank.
Sorry, that's what I. Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I
It's okay, man. It's okay. Alzheimer's will come to for all of us military veterans, okay? We all lose our brain cells to where one day, when I'm probably in my 80s and 90s and I'm hearing some young Marines or soldiers talking about how rough it was training, I'll be like, oh, they issued you feet? They didn't issue us feet. We had to earn them. Let's rewind that.
R
for
for
pivot.
run people over, D for don't move. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Do you know what tankers call infantry?
Crunchies.
Yeah,
You've
crunchies.
told me.
Okay, yeah. I had. Man, that thing was so much fun to drive around.
You didn't tell me you drove a tank and an APC.
Well, it is an APC.
You said you also drove a tank.
Sorry, that's what I. Oh, yeah, no, I drove.
You're having some trouble remembering all the things you drove.
Yeah, I had that brain problem again. Yes, I have driven an M1 Abrams and I have driven a armored personnel carrier.
Okay.
The M1 Abrams, it wasn't for very long. It was for like, I don't know, maybe a minute.
You were parking it.
Yeah, basically. I still have that image somewhere. I still have that picture somewhere of me driving sitting in the armored personnel carrier, trying not to grin like an idiot.
Take a selfie of yourself in an APC.
No, somebody else took a picture of me.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, it's just a photo of me and.
Back in the old days, we didn't have selfie sticks or smartphones. You either had a digital camera or a disposable camera. And I think in my collection of photos of my first and second tour in Iraq, including disposable camera photos and digital photos that I took, I might have around 2,000 to maybe 3,000 photos of my first and second tour in Iraq. Yeah, I think, yeah, I gotta count that up again. Yes. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, around 2,000, maybe 3,000 photos. See, my brain ain't working well too, so it looks like I have to count those photos up again.
In an APC, trying not to grin like an idiot because I'm super happy. I'm even wearing like the combat vehicle crewman helmet. I got like that whole thing on with like the headphones. I'm like, yay, this is fun.
Well, I'm glad every experience you had was fun over there.
Oh, it's always good to react to, again, more videos like this. It really reminds me of my time in serving overseas, too. Shout out to mikeburnfire. Great video, especially, and commentary on the wonderful fun of Humvees, Kevlars, APCs, and so much more. So to my fellow veterans out there, especially those who might know anyone who is a veteran, have you ever heard any stories about their experiences with Humvees or APCs or Kevlars or being mortared, or what was it like serving over there in Iraq or Afghanistan? Please type it in the comments section below. I hope all of you are doing well. Please take good care of yourselves. And as always, keep on winning. I'm Kit. Support the original content creators, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Chicago Reacts, because we got some great videos in the works. See you on the flip side.